So the key concept Zagzebski is going to take from the study of morality and apply to epistemology is this notion, or this class of theories, this sort of virtue-based theories of normativity, which contrasts with the way we've been thinking about things. So let's sort of first start with the way we've been thinking about things up till now, and then try to get into her virtue-based theory through the idea of morality. So we've been thinking in terms of act or belief-based theories. We've been thinking in terms of belief-based theories in epistemology, but they're analogous to act-based theories in ethics. So in ethics, what you do when you have an act-based theory of morality, you focus on what makes a particular action right. What makes, say, giving money to charity right, or what makes my tripping my mom on her birthday wrong, something like that. We focus on a particular action like that. And those of you who've taken ethics, or even done a little of it in the Intro to Philosophy class, you've probably seen some theories that are act-based theories of morality. Theories like Kantianism, Kant's moral theory, or a theory called deontology in general, where we give rules for what makes an action right or wrong. Another general kind of theory is often called utilitarianism, which says you should maximize happiness for the greatest number. More general way of thinking here is consequentialism. You should do the action that has the best consequences. Again, these are moral theories that are about actions. In both of these, action is the locus of normative or moral evaluation. In epistemology, we might think we've been doing something similar so far in this semester, especially in the last unit or two, because we're very much concerned with what makes a particular belief justified. Earlier, we were concerned with what makes a belief knowledge. Now we're concerned with what makes a particular belief justified. And lately, we've seen views like evidentialism, which is a kind of internalism, which says a belief is justified if and only if blah, if and only if some condition holds. Likewise, reliabilism or externalism, another theory which says a belief is justified if and only if some condition holds. Now, there are different conditions for reliabilism and evidentialism, and there are different sort of constraints on internalism and externalism in general, but it's all about what makes a particular belief justified. And so hopefully you can see the similarity between the action-based theory of ethics, where we have a picture of what makes a particular action right or wrong, and in epistemology, we have a picture of what makes a belief justified or unjustified. Zagzebski thinks this is the wrong way to think of all normative theories, both the ethical, moral theories and theories in epistemology. Instead, we should be virtue-based theories, she thinks. And so what happens in a virtue-based theory? Let's start with ethics. In a virtue-based ethics, there's not a focus on the action itself, on the particular action. Rather, we focus on the person doing the action, the actor. So the fundamental question here is whether the person is virtuous, the person, not whether the action is right or wrong. So we focus on the person, not the action. And what we look for, instead of rightness or wrongness of action, we look for qualities of an ethically virtuous person, what are often called virtues, ethical virtues. So things like courage, honesty, compassion. There are many other virtues you might think of, ethical virtues you might think of. And so that's the way virtue ethicists think. A virtue-based theory of ethics is given in terms of the virtues of the person. We can carry over that way of thinking to epistemology and have a virtue-based epistemology, where we don't focus on beliefs, we focus on the person who believes, the believer. And the fundamental question here is whether the person is intellectually virtuous, not whether a belief is justified. So when we focus on whether a person is intellectually virtuous, we focus on whether they have some qualities, intellectually virtuous qualities or epistemically virtuous qualities, like open-mindedness, insightfulness, intellectual care, other things like this. So we focus on the features of the believer, of the person doing the thinking, rather than of the beliefs themselves. This is really a huge change. It's not like we're still wrapped up in this discussion of reliabilism versus evidentialism, internalism versus externalism. That looks like a very internal, that looks like a fight very much focused on a belief-based model. She's trying to blow that all up and say, don't focus on particular beliefs. Focus on the believers. Focus on those people. Are they open-minded? Are they insightful? Do they have care, or are they rash? Are they biased? Do they not look for evidence against their position? These are the sorts of things we should be thinking about according to a virtue-based epistemology.